Hey everyone, it's Rachel and it's Wednesday and I'm your host. I'm just going to jump right on into this week's topic. I had to read a little bit about it. I knew about it, of course. I just didn't really know a lot of the details or really understand it very well. So I educated myself and hopefully I get everything right and I'll give you my experiences and my opinions about my time in New York City and in my area even. Anyways, our week's topic is talking about the accessible taxi cab issue in New York City because right now there's only like about 200 out of 13,000 that are wheelchair accessible. And for someone like me, I know Tiffany was talking about it. You know, she can kind of hop into the cab and break down her chair, or someone breaks down her chair. But for me, someone literally has to pick me up and carry me to get into the car, or has to hold me and while stepping off of a curb, or just things are dangerous and not exactly very good for Chris's back or whoever's with me's back. And certainly I don't like it. I don't like being flung into a car in front of, a whole bunch of people like that. It's not exactly very fun. But what I've been able to do is, I don't live in New York City. There's, every time I've been there, we've either rolled around and walked, or we've had a place to be at a certain time, and I've planned in advance, and I had someone there call, and I've always had like one that I could have a lift or get into. So that's just my experiences, but probably just because a lot of the times that I've been to New York City, it's been for, like the times that I was on the Today Show and things like that. So they sent me I made sure that it was wheelchair accessible, whatever they sent me to pick me up. So my experiences are probably not the norm, obviously. But it is I did catch a few that, on my own just to get around. And like I said, I guess I'm just, I'm used to being flung around and picked up, but I don't prefer it. And I'm sure a lot of people don't prefer it. And I'm sure people who aren't as, people who are much more independent than I am would really not like it because they're not used to it. So, and it's not fair. I mean, that's really, that we'll just get down to the nitty gritty and say that, yes, I could call ahead. Yes, I could, make sure I have 30 minutes and that someone's there waiting for me. I could do that. But it's not fair that I have to do that and somebody else can just spontaneously be like, hey, let's just get a cab for the rest of the way, or hey, let's get a cab and go here spontaneously. That's pretty awesome privilege, and I think it should be everybody's privilege. Everybody's right. Actually, I'm sorry, I'll use the word right. It's everybody's right. If it's an able-bodied person's right to be able to get anywhere they want to go, whenever they want to go, it should be someone in a wheelchair's right to do the same. And I was doing, like I said, research, and I didn't even know that there was a dispatch service. So there's even an iPhone app or a phone app called Wheels on Wheels, and you can and there's a phone number and so that you can text people, you can call to dispatch a cab to you that's wheelchair accessible, and that's absolutely fabulous. I didn't know about that, but it really isn't enough because, like I said, with there only being 200 cabs, what's the likelihood of one being right near you or not stuck in traffic, or you're going to end up waiting and you're not going to know exactly how long your wait is because of traffic. I don't know. Either way, it's not enough. It's not right. Like I said, it is a step. It is cool, but I think a combination of that and some many more wheelchair accessible cabs is the answer. Do I think they're going to make every single one accessible? That seems like it would be kind of like a dream come true. That seems pretty cool, but I don't know. But should there be more than 200? By far, way more than that. There should be thousands of wheelchair accessible cabs in New York City. And like Tiff was saying, when I was there, I could not, the whole city is just not accessible. It's not even just a taxi cab issue. It's a whole city issue. They're just not friendly to people in wheelchairs. And I mean, the city's accessibility is not friendly to people in wheelchairs. So I certainly would never choose to live there because of it, ever. So it is cool to visit, but it would be nice to visit without having all of these issues to think about. But they have also kind of improved this dispatch service, because before they would have, they would send like a taxi over to somebody who called for it. Like let's say I called for a taxi. I needed a lift or a ramp because I'm in a wheelchair and I can't get out of my wheelchair. So I've called a cab. They're having to pass a whole bunch of people who are hailing cabs, and maybe, who knows, they get to me and I'm not there and I decided to just go somewhere else. So it doesn't really protect the cab driver either. So now there's a service that for every half a mile they go, that they have to pass people, for every mile they go, for every more than a mile they go, they are paid by the city, I guess. I forget who pays them, but I know it's not the wheelchair person, but the cab driver does get money for having to pass by customers, and they also get a fee if there's a no-show. So it's just a much better system that's in place. But like I said, in the end of the day, there's needs to be way, way more cabs. It's kind of a disgrace that only 200 in a huge city like that are accessible. So hopefully things get pushed through, and my next visit to New York City will be awesome, because I know here in Raleigh I don't think there's any. I mean, I don't think there's any accessible cabs here. I know it's just Raleigh, North Carolina, but I like to go downtown and with people, and I like to be able to just get a cab like everybody else, but I have to be picked up and put in if I ever use one, or if I ever have used one. So yeah, it's a problem everywhere, but in a huge city like New York, it's a big issue. I would think it would be even a bigger issue. I am not the professional on this, but I would think that there would be more, even a bigger issue in places like California, like in LA, because I've just seen so many more people who are in shares in an area like that. And I was in New York City. I saw very few people. But again, not the issue. It is we need to have way, way, way more accessibility there. We need to have more cabs there. Far, far more. But we need to have it everywhere, not just New York City. So that is my spiel. And hopefully I shed a little bit of light and just kind of gave my opinion on that one. But yeah, hopefully Erica will have some more info since she works with MV1, and her opinion as someone who's even been in a chair even longer than I have. So, well, way longer than I have. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good Wednesday night, and I will see you next week.